Hello guys, this is the basic tutorial of how to use LaTeX and on Overleaf. Overleaf is the simplest way to use LaTeX. It is essentially a Google Drive or Google Docs version of LaTeX where you can share it amongst your other peers, and it's all online, so you don't have to download anything, you don't have to worry about anything. First, I'm going to show you other ways to do LaTeX. There is ways using stuff like VS Code or any other text editing softwares where you can install LaTeX. This is an example from my senior design from last semester where we had set the format of the entire document and then just started typing things in as we went, and we didn't have to worry about any formatting. We just started inputting things in, and then there's some finicky things about Overleaf LaTeX that I would explain to you about that we had to fix later on. But overall, we just let it sit. We had stuff like this where our header is constantly at the top. Everything is updated. No worries about anything to have to add things. So it does headers, footers, it does tables, figures, formatting, everything all you want. Equations and all that, in my opinion, are simpler than Word or Docs, because in Word and Docs you might have to, not might, but you have to go into that insert equation. Then, I want a fraction, so I gotta click on this, and then I want an exponent, so I want this. There's hotkeys and all that, but it can get finicky when you're trying to do smaller, bigger numbers, letters. If you're trying to find Greek letters and then trying to put a dot on top of something or a line on top of something to get like alpha bar, A bar, B bar, R dot, whatever you want. LaTeX, if once you get to learn LaTeX, it is quicker and it's simpler. It's, my opinion, much faster. It took me a long time to learn how to do LaTeX. It Not a long time rather, but about 2 weeks. So I recommend you trying to learn this while you have time. In A303, we're going to do AI double formatting, so you're going to have to spend time on these reports anyways. And while you do have time for lab 1 and lab 2, I would recommend you looking into LaTeX if you want to speed things up later down the road. It will help you a lot for A310 final project. It'll help you for every homework for A410 and your senior designs if you want to use this. It saved me a lot of time, and so this is why I'm making this video, to recommend this to you guys. Um, First, for LaTeX, we're going to use Overleaf. Like I said, we're just going to go to overleaf.com and make your account, and then once you do that, you will have this page come up. Obviously, you're not going to have projects because you're going to just make them, but just hit a new project and you start it. And you can go into a blank document. However, a cool thing about Overleaf is that you can just download the AIAA formatting template. So there's two links when you look up AIAA LaTeX. You can also look up Overleaf AIAA LaTeX if it doesn't pop up. Cool thing about this as well is I'm pretty sure you can run this on any device, whether it's Mac or Windows, because it's not downloading anything, it's all online. So there's no stress about, oh, can I even run this? Because you should be able to. So when you look up LaTeX or AIAA, these two links should pop up. This link is within this link as well, so I'm just going to click on this to show you that the right one is the old version, so this is the updated version of whatever they did. Yeah, actually, you can see the abstract is a little different. They want it to look like this now. So if you just click on this, there is open as template. When you click on over a template, it will take you to your Overleaf account, and then it'll pop up the code that it used to produce this. And within this document, it will show you the formatting, how it's supposed to look like, and all the procedures to make a AIAA formatted document. It'll tell you all the footnotes, references, figures, and tables, all how the equation should look like. Format the title on paper bold, 18-point type, yada yada. Document default template is Times New Roman, 10-point size. It tells you everything you want. And then what you could do is just pretty much select all, and delete. So that's what I did over here. One thing about LaTeX is that it does require use packages. Packages are the essentially like a command package. You know, I want to run this certain command. I need this package to run this command. So, you know, there's a little finicky. I guess you can take it like a function in MATLAB where you try to pull a function. That's what it's doing. I have a bunch of packages that I typically use that I will put in the description in this video, so you can just copy and paste that into your own document or your own LaTeX code, so that you can do a bunch of stuff that you might have to go and look up online to figure out how to do this. There are things that I am missing more than potentially, so if you want to do a certain command and it won't let you, just look up how to do this command Overleaf or how to do this command LaTeX, and then there's going to be links everywhere, whether it's discussion post or Overleaf itself. And in this case, I'm clicking tables. If you go to Overleaf website, just like MathWorks for MATLAB, it shows you how to do things in detail. And just like MATLAB, you can copy the code and then put that into your own code and then try to mess around with it. So it is really useful. And then, you know, these show you, oh, I need the array package. Oh, I need the tabularx package. I need the multi-row package to these certain tables. So it's pretty useful. It goes into great detail. It's really nice. It gives you all these examples of what they're going to look like. And so you can make tables how you want it to be. Now, Overleaf has some finicky things that you do need to look into, make sure that you don't, you know, mess up. One thing is whenever you start a section, you do need to have /begin, and then we'll do equation for this for the time being. So whenever you want to do an equation with numbers and just math letters, where it's, you know, the Greek letters or whatever, you need to have it into a equation mode. There is, actually I'll just pull this one for now. There is stuff like /align. I am not entirely sure. Oh, because yeah, that's right. If you needed to have an equation or some sort of equation package, /begin equation only allows you to put one line in equation, and /begin align allows you to do multiple lines like this. So, you know, you can look that up online. Like, how do I have multiple lines? How do I have this type of equation? How do I have this type of equation? But it's pretty easy. In LaTeX, as long as you have, you know, the basic formatting set in stone already, your equation numbers are already set. Same thing with figures and tables. When in the caption, it's going to change the number as it goes down. So if currently this equation right here is this line of code, and that is equation 1. I also have a reference showing I want to reference this equation, which is labeled using /label with EQN M2. Reference EQN M2. So it's currently, I want to reference the first equation, EQN 1. This. Let's say I want to move this. I want to move this to the bottom of the document. I didn't delete it, did I? Now, when I recompile the document, it will automatically move the top equation to the bottom because it is in the, it's not automatic because you did that manually, but it will automatically change the number associated with that equation. So you don't have to worry about, you know, going back in and I've got 30 equations. Did I reference the equations properly? Shoot, no, that's one wrong. Okay, I know I got to move that around. You don't have to do that because it does it for you. As long as you have your equation itself in the right place and you reference the right label, it will do it for you. So it is really nice because you don't have to worry about formatting. Formatting is the biggest thing about AIAA, to make sure you get it right, and LaTeX just does it for you. One time it did bug out on me and screwed me over, but that was mainly because I didn't check to see if the PDF came out right after I downloaded it right here. You can download a PDF. But when I did that, I didn't check to see that the formatting was right, which is my bad. So I didn't fix it and then turn in my final project for 410. So it did bug out and kind of annoyed me. But as long as you make sure that everything's right after you're done, you know, while you're working, you don't have to worry about any formatting. Going into showing the figures, it is simply /begin figure, and then it'll automatically pop up the required code for a figure. Same thing with /begin table. The basics that you need, the very basics. There's stuff that you can add to make certain things fancier. If you want pictures side by side, here, let me find, where was it? It was at the top. It is not in this document. Sorry, I guess I can't show you here. But there is ways to have the pictures right next to each other or like in a grid. And that will require a little more code, but you can look that up, how to have images beside each other LaTeX. And putting two images beside each other. Here's a discussion post. More people just look, oh, I want, this is how you do it, and image next to each other. So it's pretty easy to find solutions to what you want to do. Now, importing images, when you download the template, it's going to automatically have these 5 documents and pictures. I imported this earlier. I put this in earlier, but you can make folders if you want to be organized, which I recommend you do it, especially if you have a lot of figures and numbers or whatever. And you can put a folder within a folder. So if you're one of those people who really want to be organized, you can do that too. So I can shove this in there. Now it's in there. And in the code, I want to reference this. So it's pic/graph.jpg. I don't have any equations, so it's freaking out. Now, right now, the figure's on its own. The table is above the title. It's buggy. Like, this is not where you want it. One thing about LaTeX is that whenever you put tables and figures, the recommended thing to do is import them in and then forget about them until the very end. Get everything else in, type up everything you want, and then try to figure out how to move your tables around, because LaTeX likes to put these where it thinks you want it to be. But obviously I don't want my table at the top of the page above the title. I don't want it to be on its own page like this. Like, what the heck? So, it's going to do that to you. There are ways to go around this. If you put square bracket and then put a H saying I want it here, this should move it to where you want it, but it didn't. So I'm going to put capital H. And this still might not work because it might just not have enough room. So you need to fill in your document more. But see, I forced it to go here. So the single letters in the square brackets for the figures and tables say, I want it here for H. I want it at the top of the page for T. I want it at the bottom page for B. I want it on its own page for P. So you can move things around as you wish. However, again, I would recommend doing this later. I like to just put capital H in the beginning and just leave it as is and then work on my document so that at least it's close to where I want it to be, and then I'll finish up my document, then move on to fixing the location. That's probably the most annoying part about LaTeX is just the location of figures and tables. They just refuse to work sometimes. So it is finicky, but other than that, equations are really easy to input. Because if you're trying to, find the Greek letters, it's really easy to type out /alpha, /beta, /delta, /capital delta to produce this. I want a dot on top of my R, /dot. I want a double dot, /dd dot, or d dot. And then once it produces, you see 2 dots. What is it, /bar? might need a capital bar. B. Yeah, it did a bar, so it's pretty easy to work, to do this. Whenever you're trying to do a command, you know, you need a slash. It won't work otherwise. If you just have alpha, it's gonna just type out the word alpha. So I want the actual character alpha. You gotta put slash, saying this is a command. I'm specifically saying that this word alpha is the character alpha, not the word alpha. Whenever you're trying to use percent signs, it's percent on its own is a comment, just like in MATLAB. So if I do that, it won't pop up on the right. But if I want the percent sign, again, make it a command saying I want this to be a percent sign and not a comment. And then it will have percent comment. Whenever you do equations, it has to be an equation box or some sort of equation command. But if you want like numbers or like an equation within a sentence, go the math a sentence. With fraction frac. So this is a command that you will use a lot. Fractions. It's just frac, and then the curly brackets where it's the top and bottom. So 1/2. When you do this, you're going to see that it's going to be 1 bar 2, and it doesn't look right, and it's going to freak out saying, hey, there's something wrong. You're missing dollar signs. Dollar signs allow it to be in math mode. Math mode is saying this is not an equation command, but I want to still use this equation, quote unquote. So when you do the math mode, now it is properly 1/2. So you can incorporate math in your sentences just like you would in Word, and I think it's easier, especially since I've got practice into it now. It's quick. It's so much quicker than Word. So again, if you have the time, try to spend it to work on this. I think it's in the long term easier and quicker. If you have any questions on how to use this, just let me know. I'll show you what I've done. I do want to show you some examples from my 410 homework and projects, but I can't do that because then you guys will have my work. So I think I can do that for my final project, which is why I'm showing you, because this is my project and yours won't look anything like this to an extent. But this is just an example of what it looks like. You can have PDF pages as a whole in here instead of like a picture. You can have drawing pages from excuse me. You can have a whole drawing pages from SolidWorks just be put in as a PDF. And it fills it up, so when you print it, it'll be its own page just like that. So you can do a lot with LaTeX, and it just ignores you having to worry about formatting. Everything is done for you. So I would recommend doing this. One last thing I wanted to talk about was two things, is citations. Citations for AirWay is finicky, if you guys remember, for having to do that. You don't have to, you always forget, so you got to go to like an AIAA citation generator or something. Go to a link, and then you got to find the year, find this and find that, and then import that, and then it'll take a minute to produce. Here there is a .bib for bibliography, and this is an sample bib that the template gives you. So it shows you some examples of citations that it used for the formatting example, and you can look up different bibliography code for LaTeX. There are @ books, there are @ I think pages, which might be in here already. There's a lot of different things that you could do, which changes the AIWA format. And so using this as an example here, you know, you got your title, author, journal, year, you got volume, series, pages, publisher. That whatever you need will go, you know, you type it in and then you name it here. This is the label that I showed you earlier for the figures, the equations, and all that. But you know, you go to your document, and you have your slash bibliography and sample saying, you know, you want to show, you know, you specifically want to use this .bib. Whenever you want to cite something, you have to cite it, not just type. You know, you can go in and, you know, make some formatting, but if you want to reference something to do it, have it cite it for you automatically, you have to actually reference the citation. So to the citation, the work cited a section work must, I can't type right now. You must reference the citation itself, like /cite, and then whatever you have in your sample.bib or whatever you know, something.bib will pop up here. And I'll just click this, and there it is. It's done for you automatically, the exact way that AIWA wants it. And click to that link. It's a hyperlink and takes you to that section. And then I'm gonna cite some more to show you that just more automatic stuff that does. And you can cite the same thing multiple times. You know. It does it automatically in alphabetical order. B, D, P, T, like it, you know, you don't have to go and like, oh, I have 5 of these that start with this 3 same letters, and like, no, like, okay, I gotta make sure this is in the right order. And then same thing, you don't have to worry about these numbers being out of order because they'll always be in the right place. Like if you add another citation that starts with an A, these numbers will shift to 2, 3, 4, 5 instead. So again, it's just convenient. There's nothing for you to worry about in terms of trying to make sure that everything is right, because this class will look at your formatting, but later on they're gonna be really nitpicky about it. AE 310, AE 410 are going to look at your format to a pretty good detail. So you're going to want to learn how to do formatting, and this is pretty easy where you can ignore the format. So I would highly recommend looking into this. Last thing I want to talk about is, if you want, you could incorporate LaTeX into MATLAB. LaTeX is used everywhere, even in ChatGPT, or if you ever ask, like, what is this equation, you know, what equation is the basic low speed aerodynamic equation, whatever, you know, it, and if you look at the words and equations that ChatGPT is producing, you can see that scrambling. If you give it a good look, it's using LaTeX. LaTeX is used everywhere, and it's really convenient. And so I'm just gonna show this for MATLAB. You know, this could be kind of useful primarily for maybe like AE4 440, where Professor Butler will have some homeworks that you need some code just so it's easier. And if you want, you could have your entire homework just be code using LiveScript. So this is just a basic, you know, simple code that you guys can do, that you guys have seen. You know, x plus, divide, some random formula. Now if I just copy this and then I were to make a new LiveScript and put this in here first, it's here. Everything just runs just fine. But cool thing about LiveScript is that you can type text in here. You can swap from the text and code mode, and this example will show you the usage of LaTeX. In MATLAB. So I want to visualize this. I want to show in my homework that I am using this equation. In this, you can just insert and hit insert and go to equation, and you can have the equation that you do in Word or Docs, where you can find the Greek letters, do all this stuff. Or if you want, you go in here and put LaTeX equation. So I want C is equal to x times, or we don't need a multiplication sign necessarily, / frac, or the curly y divided by a. And look, it pops up. I want parentheses around it. Okay, well, I want these parentheses to be a little bigger, so they're showing the whole thing instead of just I messed that up. This is supposed to be on the left. I wanted to cover the whole fraction. LaTeX can do that, and MATLAB takes LaTeX. And LaTeX is all the same. They all use the same package. They all do the same thing, but there's 100 different ways to do one problem in LaTeX, and it's really, really convenient because you can find your style of coding LaTeX. Your style of making things look nice. And so when I hit that, now it's in here. And you can finish your homework in just doing this, and just take a screenshot or download the PDF or picture, and then send that in homework for some classes that might need code, like 440 or 430. So, if you ever do want to do this route and you end up learning LaTeX, well, here's another option to do homework. So again, I would recommend looking into this. I'll put all these packages that I typically use overall in the description for you to use to copy and paste into your own document to mess around, and try to just mess with this when you have time, because you will not have a lot of time later down the semester relatively quickly too. So this will save you time later on, because this will take time to learn, but it will take away time from you to having to worry about formatting, having to make sure that your numbers are right, your labels are right, because it would do it for you. So give it a look, and hope you guys learned something from here. Thank you.